thy power, earthly and divine.
Hey friends, I hope that you all have been doing well. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. It's nice to see you here. I am a practicing witch. I talk about it here on YouTube. If that's your sort of thing, check out some of the other videos here on my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, it's really good to see you back as well. I'm excited to talk about today's video. Like, I'm so just shooketh. We're wrapping up 2024 as I am filming this, and I cannot believe that I have published, self-published, but published 2 books this year. Oh, I recently got my author copy, which is this here. And this is my 3rd and final book in my Witchlight series. Hi, if you don't know, I have spent over the past, 2.5, 3 years really focusing on the practice of witchlight and spending time in the other world and dealing with otherworldly spirits. And I have written about it and self-published it. So you can find the first book, Ambrosia's Book of Witchlight, which is basically about witchlight, and it's filled with my personal experiences, my UPG, if you will, as well as the shared personal gnosis of our coven. So it's a lot of journal entries about my experiences in flight. And witchlight is essentially, it's kind of synonymous with like astral travel, if you will. I feel like that they are synonymous. I think that astral travel, if you look at books regarding it, it tends to have more of a new age flavor. And in traditional witchcraft, the idea of witches traveling to the witches' Sabbath in the other world, or the idea of witches pulling their spirit from their body and traveling the midworld or the other world, is pervasive. And you can find academic and folkloric texts out there that cover this, but I haven't seen any other witches documenting their own personal experience. And all of this actually started out as part of a pact with a specific spirit that I talk about in the first book, who I felt like tasked me with writing that first book, Ambrosia's Book of Witchlight, at the time. In that first book, Ambrosia's Book of Witchlight, which I have right here. That, like I said, it's filled with a bunch of different journal entries of my personal experiences in flight. There's also recipes and rituals that pertain to otherworldly sorcery. And there's a spirit codex of, I think the first book has 86 spirits that I have personally worked with, the Coven has worked with, we've encountered or heard of in the other world. There's plenty of content out there about my first book here on my channel. I have a playlist that I've made of people who have reviewed my work. If you have made a review video of any of my books, let me know if I haven't already found it, so I can add it to that playlist. There's the second book, which is the Lesser Key, if you will. I kind of took a card from Solomon. And so my Witchlight book is kind of like Jasmyne Ambrosia's testament, if you will, kind of like the Testament of Solomon. And then my lesser book specifically focuses on the spirits of the other world. It's expanding the codex from the first book. And there's 122 spirits in that codex with full page like portraits, and then extended codex, more attributes than you will find in the codex in the Witchlight book. And then there's personal gnosis journal entries from myself, from other witches who sent submissions, and from my editor. That's entirely what that book is. It's a giant spirit codex. It is Ambrosia's Book of Spirits, or the Lesser Liber Spiritus. And then this is the greater, which just recently came out. I released this early December of 2024 for the first edition. Like I said, this is my author copy here. This is what the front of the book looks like. Ambrosia's Book of Otherworldly Sorcery, the Greater Liber Spiritus. Yeah, I'm really, really excited. This is going to complete the sort of 3-part series. So again, the first one is the Testament of Flight and real working gnosis of modern practicing witches performing flight and our experiences and some tools that we use to help us. And then the second one, like I've mentioned, is all on the spirits. And the third one, this is actually on the rituals, the rites, and the sorcery. So if you're familiar with the Lesser and Greater Keys of Solomon, it's going to follow a similar format where you have Solomon's Testament, the story. Then you have the Lesser, which focuses on the 72 of the Legion. And then you have the Greater, which focuses on Solomonic sorcery. So again, I took inspiration there and applied it through a American folkloric traditional witches point of view. I'm going to read you the back of this book. Ambrosia's Book of Sorcery, also known as the Greater Liber Spiritus, is an intriguing exploration into the depths of otherworldly sorcery. This book is part of a compelling 3-part series accompanied by Ambrosia's Book of Witchlight and Ambrosia's Book of Spirits, the Lesser Liber Spiritus, which together provide a comprehensive guide to the art of sorcery from an American traditional folkloric perspective. In Ambrosia's Book of Sorcery, readers will discover detailed instructions on performing rites of otherworldly sorcery, including the creation and the use of sigils, which I have a very specific method that I created that I use, as well as a more in-depth look at the group of spirits known as the Witches' Council, a notable group of spirits, and exploring the 9 classical familiars. Also, the cross-quarter realms are touched on in this book. The cardinal realms are touched on in the Witchlight book. So the realms like Asalia, Mitney, Dokar, Grydel are touched on there. But the cross-quarter realms are touched on here, as well as expanding the otherworldly virtues, which are kind of synonymous with our mid-world elements, like we have earth, air, fire, water. In the other world, we have aspects like death, light, order, chaos, fell, etc. Additionally, this book covers how astrology can be effectively utilized in sorcery, adding another layer of depth to the practitioner's knowledge and skills. It's a rich and detailed guide and essential for anyone interested in the mystical, magical practices of sorcery. I have a dear friend that I'd like to give a shout out to, Corey Devereaux, who submitted some art that's in this book I absolutely love. Let me read you the book's dedication. This book is dedicated to the great spirit of craft. May the Greater Liber Spiritus be a poetic journey that offers insight into the other world and ignites the witch flame from within those who read it. May that flame illuminate their path in this world and the other. May this work be a guiding light for those who choose to walk down the road. Blessed be the witches. So this is my table of contents page. We have acknowledgements, then we have opening, which is the ostium, the witch's pyramid in sorcery, 32 laws, magical echelons, the tools of the art, sigils in sorcery, lunar sorcery, virtues extended, the 8 forms of magic, and then we get into some of the cross-quarter realms. So edicts, the Atlas Forge, the Gray, Hellmouth. And then we also talk about offerings and payments, the classic 9, the Witch Council, the Witch's Garden, recipes, rites, and rituals. And then I have a whole chapter on submissions that I collected over the past year from witches who were working flight and sending in their gnosis regarding my first and second book, working with spirits from that book, or just contributing their own Witchlight journal entries from their own sort of background and gnosis and practice. I'm gonna keep this video relatively short. I might in the future make some videos inspired by some of the chapters here, but for now, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for your support. I cannot believe that I've published now 3 books that was never even on my radar. And I feel really good about it. I struggled for a long time in terms of just how secure I felt as a writer. And I feel like you just have to jump in. Like if you are curious and interested in writing a book, the best advice I can give you is that you just have to jump in. Just start writing because the rest of it can come over time. I personally self-published through Amazon KDP, which makes it really easy because you just need to have your manuscript sort of in a row. You need to have it formatted, edited, however you want, and then you send it to Amazon KDP along with a book cover design, and they put it all together for you. They print it for you. It makes it really easy. I would love to hear what you think of my book if you have read it. I would love to hear what you think of my Witchlight series. Tell me you loved it. Tell me you hated it. Tell me. I just want to hear. Share your thoughts with me. That is going to be it for this video. Yeah, I'm not really going to give my own book a rating because that feels kind of weird, but I wanted to add it to my book review playlist. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on other books, make sure that you check that out on my channel. And until next time, blessed be, and I will see you in hell. Bye.
Darkest hour, wake thy power, earthly and divine. Burn and brew with Coven true, and glory shall be thine. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Circle sewn with fate, unlock thy hidden